Greetings, Commanders, and welcome back to Soldiers Inc. Training. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter and are ready to get into one of the more interesting parts of the game. Now, for this episode, we are going to cover a mining complex. Now, for a mining complex, first off, let's just start off by saying there are currently 2,900 different mining complexes on the map, and I believe all of them are currently owned by by most different combines in the region. Ooh, what are you? Oh, those are the HQs. Oh, how cool! Sweet. All right. Let's take all those out. From here, from this tab of the map, you can see all the different mining complexes and which combines control what. The Dead Kennedys, I believe, own the most on the map, and there are quite a few others that currently own like large sections of the map. Now, the reason why your combine wants to grab and control the different mining complexes that are available is that you see how, ooh, damn. One particular group controls a whole lot in their area. It expands their dominance over a particular part of the map. And it's just good for the combine, but also there's a resource that is created. Yeah, there's a resource that is created each time that the ZHG attacks a particular mining complex that you or your combine controls. And it is it's cash that's awarded to your combine by the syndicate, and it goes to upgrade your particular units that you have on offer. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But for right now, there are 5 separate levels of development that your mining complex can take. 5 is the most. And in order to level up your mining complex, you have to deposit a certain amount of each resource, so fuel, munitions, and rations. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it is or how much. I believe it's like 25,000 per donation. And so with that in mind, it's a very large investment basically to upgrade your combine's mining complex. And damn it. And if you look down here, you can see all the different options that basically, if I wanted to attack this mining complex, which I really don't, I have the option to occupy it. I have the option to recon, go to their join ups. I guess that's to, I'm not sure what that is. I'll probably bring up this screen here, tell you who they are, what they're about. But if you want to attack or occupy a mining complex, make sure you bring in a lot of troops. Most combines require that each person put in a certain amount of defense. Some of the higher end combines might require, several million per mining complex. Others might only require like 200,000 to 300,000 per player. It all depends on your combine, your CEO, what they've decided needs to happen. Now, other combines have the option of attacking your mining complex, so it is up to you and the rest of your combine to make sure that if you want to keep it, you pack it with all the defense you can. 90 million, over 100 million, it doesn't really matter. Just pack it in, have as much as you can. Now, you don't necessarily want people just coming around and reconning your mining complex, so it's also important that you put in like a ton of different recon units. So your drones, what are they called? The vultures, the blackbirds, I believe, as well. And I really think there's something else, but I can't remember it right now. Now, if you come along with me, I'll show you how to get to mining complexes that your combine already controls. So click here on Home, and here in your Joint Ops Center, you'll see different tabs. There's your Info tab, your Partners tab, your Who All's Out There tab for combines. There's My Combine, and then there is a tab called Mining Complexes. That does not give you a list of every mining complex that's out there. It gives you the list of which mining complex is available to your combine. Now, if you hold on one second, I'm going to stop the recording right here to skip ahead a couple of pages. Be right. Okay, welcome back. Now, if you'll see here, we are inside the actual mining complex under the upgrading tab. Now, this is basically the milk and honey of the mining complex. The other two tabs really aren't all that important. This one gives you a pretty picture of your mining complex, where it is, and some of the other crap that it offers really isn't much. Your garrison tab. Now, if you have any members of your combine that you're really not sure about, I would recommend keeping them below, I believe it's tier 3 specialist, because anyone tier 3 or over can actually see the garrison within your mining complex. So unless that person is, totes McScroats 100% loyal to your combine, I'd recommend just keeping them at a nice low status, something below tier 3. I'm not entirely sure on what it is that those particular levels are. So just, keep them below it. But as I said before, this is the milk and honey. This is where all the mining complex bullshit really goes down. This is where you really want to be, is the upgrading tab. Now, upgrading basically means you're upgrading your different units that you have within your mining complex to a veteran unit. Now, a veteran unit has better stats, and it also reduces your food consumption per unit. So it is a good idea to vet your units. Now, most units, I believe, the increase is about 30 points, except for the light infantry and heavy infantry, because that's like a lot of points for them. But I believe for everything else, like your armor and your actual helicopters, that's an increase of about 30 points, I believe. Now, when you're in this tab, you don't want to go off and, just instantly, damn it, go away. You don't want to instantly just kick the bar over as far as you can and hit upgrade. That's a really fast way to piss off your teammates if you take the whole pot. Really the best way to do it is for one thing, your CEO will tell you when you are allowed to take cash from the mining complex and when you're not allowed to. They will also inform you on how much. So if it's like 100 cash, 1,000 cash, 10,000, I believe mining complexes now have a maximum ceiling of 30,000 cash funds, which are awarded from the syndicate for every time the ZHG attacks a mining complex held by your combine. So keep that in mind that, CEOs, you want to make sure that you're keeping the cash down nice and low throughout the day, because I believe the ZHG is now attacking about anywhere from 2 to 4 times a day, but I could be wrong, and it really does also depend on how many mining complexes you're holding. So with that being said, just keep an eye on how much cash you're holding, CEOs, and let your teammates know. Now, it's also really important, this way you're not pissing off your CEO or whoever's in charge of divvying up the prize money, is that when they tell you to go collect, you go and collect. You don't say, oh, hold it for me until morning. Don't be one of those douchebags. Say, oh, just hold it for me. I'll be there in the morning. No, they're going to drop you down a little bit further on the priorities list and go to the next person who is online or on the list, and you may or may not get it. So, word of advice, take it when you get it. But also, as I said, you don't want to just kick the bar over and take all the funds that are available inside your mining complex, because that will piss off your CEO to no end. Trust me, I have been there. Another fun deal is, if you look here, you don't have to rely on this slider, which can be a real bitch. You could come here and type in. You could type in different numbers, and it will tell you, bitch. And it can tell you exactly how much cash you're allotted. So, or how much cash you would spend to vet certain units. So, say I wanted to vet 78, it would cost. I would have had to have been allotted an allowance of 3,700 or 3,800, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. It all depends on what it is that your CEO allows you to have, or your funds officer if you're one of those combines. Now, when you first start and get your very first mining complex, the amount required will be different than what you see here. Right now, my amount to upgrade my Sheratons or my Hummers are 48. Originally, I believe they're 100 per unit, and combat aviation is usually, I believe, like 200 or something along those lines. But it's, each unit is basically going to be the same. So all of your light infantry units are going to have the same amount. All your heavy infantry, all my armor. So it's going to cost me the same to upgrade a Hummer as it is going to cost me to upgrade one of my heavy tanks. It's going to cost me the same to upgrade my little baby Predator drone as it's going to cost me to upgrade my Fire Drake. So, there's really no reason to freak out about, oh no, what do I want? What do I want? What do I want? Go with what you have. Now, another interesting deal is, if you look here, you're only given the option to upgrade for how much cash you have in the mining complex. So don't freak out if you see that. It's like, oh no, it's like, hey, I've got way more units than that in the mining complex. What's happening here? It only says 196, but that's just because you only have enough cash to upgrade 196. Now, if I remember correctly, most of the armor and combat aviation units, the bonus that is awarded to each is about 30 points for your overall defensive stats. I believe it is 30, so that is a good deal. Now, it's not necessarily the case with your light infantry and heavy infantry. That one you'll have to figure out on your own. And recon, a little foggy on that one. Now, if you follow me, I will show you how to decrease the amount that it will cost to upgrade your units. So come with me and we'll go to the training center. Okay, now then, we're going to come here to a training center, and it'll be way the fuck down here, all the way at the bottom of the list, basically. Over here, just past the Zaam speed, where you also can purchase the production time reduction for your different armor units. You can also get ration consumption decreased, which basically adds up to about 8% of your total ration consumption. But here you see veterancy cost, and for me right now it's a reduction of 50%. So that's why, at first my Hummers were costing me 100 cash a pop. And now they're like 48. Now there's also a badge, which I believe is called the Soldiers of Fortune, that allows, or I believe the first badge you get also offers a 2% reduction. But if your combine wants to start looking at a mining complex, I recommend getting this taken care of as quickly as possible. It should take you about a week, maybe, if you have enough, maybe longer. It might take you 2 or 3, depending on how many drone structures you have and how often you're playing. With that being said, I believe that is all you really need to know to effectively operate a mining complex. I know that there's a lot more to it than what I've said. Watch out for spies, watch out for recons, and if you're a little worried about how to take a mining complex, as I said, there can be 50 million to over, what the hell would that number be? Billion? I guess defense in a mining complex, 100 million. I have no idea. Guessing 100 million. But yeah, there could be millions upon millions of units worth of defense and a mining complex. So if you are really serious about wanting to take one, you would get 3 of your heaviest hitting members and launch a combine attack against a enemy mining complex. And from there, you will either achieve your goal of taking the mining complex, or you may need to have another attack. Now, some people, I'm not saying who, but they enjoy just destroying mining complexes. That's their whole goal in life. You may run into them as well, but that's all part of the game. You are in a war. Carry on, commanders.